Well, thank you very much, everybody. We're end of the first block of films of day 3 of the CineWyre International Film Festival here in Fleetwood. We've just watched a wonderful selection of family-friendly films, and I'm joined on stage now by a couple of the filmmakers, and I will let you guys introduce yourselves. Who are you? What film are you representing?
I'm representing the plumbing comedy Fiddle and Flush, and I'm both the writer and the producer, and my name is Keith Larch.
Just the one microphone, so we just have to pass that one around.
My name is Gareth McCann. I'm the writer and director of Looking for Alan.
Brilliant, thank you very much. So, you've got the microphone, Gareth, so let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind this film. Where did the idea come from? Why did you want to make it?
Well, it's a very specific idea. When my nana and granddad were still alive, there's like a family anecdote about them. And towards the end of my granddad's life, he was sort of losing touch a little bit with day-to-day life, and he went through a phase of continually asking my nana, "Who's that chap off Match of the Day?" And she would answer the same and be like, and he'd always want the answer, Alan Shearer. And then he went out and he moved on to other questions, but the anecdote is that after he passed away one night, when Alan sat in the living room, and she sort of feels his presence, and she turns to it and says, "Alan Shearer." and then she there's a little story that she told us before she passed away as well. So a very specific inspiration for that.
So how much of a challenge was it to condense that down into an actual screenplay to put on a screen?
It took me about 6 years to write that 6-minute short, really. Then it went through a lot of different versions, some very faithful to the actual story. There's other elements to it that I won't share here. So it took a long time to sort of decide to not be that faithful to it, to try and add some, like, a narrative to it, and a reason why Tom was asking for it. So yeah, it took a long time, really, to sort of find a version that I was happy to try and make.
So were there elements then from that original story that you'd like to have included, but for narrative's sake, for film's sake, you had to modify that and change it?
No, I think it was more to do with, like, feeling a sense of like fidelity to the family story. You know what I mean? So there's bits of it. Well, I really like that bit, but actually I like it because my family doesn't actually serve the story or whatever. So it was more the opposite of that, really. It was like, okay, well, I really like that, but does that work? So it was trying to refine to get to a story that was true to what the story meant to me, but not necessarily true to the facts of the inspiration.
Let's pop over to Keith. Fiddle and Flush, I've seen this a couple of times now, and it's doing the rounds very well on the festival circuit. And whenever I watch it, I always get the feeling of the old, like, Chuckle Brothers series. Is that the sort of vibe that you were looking for when you were putting this together?
Yes, to be honest, it's obviously a light-hearted comedy based on a real-life story, and I always just find that a lot of the frustrations of real life you can just get out your system in a light-hearted way through comedy. So yes, it does have a Chuckle Brothers feel, and that's why I think it's done so well in the Northwest. We have 2 or 3 festivals up here in this wonderful part of the world, so it's great to see that people in this part of the world are enjoying Fiddle and Flush.
So how does this differ from the original tale of Fiddle and Flush, the actual real event?
The real event is actually based on what I'd call general builders, or somebody masquerading as a builder, and we just transformed them into plumbers. So yeah, I was always kind of taught to just slightly steer away from the real life story. So yeah, it's not really plumbers, it's builders.
You work with most of the guys that I think that were in that film on quite a regular basis. How did those relationships come about as a little team?
Right, Matt and Wayne, who do a multitude of things, from directing, camera work, sound, editing. Wayne is also a writer. He's not here today because he's promoting his book at a book fair in Coventry. Wayne went to a writing group that a friend of mine was in, and she introduced me to Wayne, and that's how I got to know Wayne, and then he also introduced me to Matt. So that's how I know the writing team and the filming team. Rita and Reese, who hopefully you'll meet tomorrow night, they come up to tomorrow night. Met them for a chance meeting in 2019 when a plane didn't take off to a film festival. Walked into Rita's salon. She initially wanted me to write a book. We kept in touch through lockdown. I taught a little boy how to read when he was only 6. Realised he got a great talent for memorising dialogue. Wrote a little script for him, just for a bit of fun. Made it into a short film. Did incredibly wonderful around the world, and is now a series that's hopefully being marketed at Cannes this May. So we're really, really pleased about that. We've just come back from having a double award-win in Barcelona, and a gentleman who we met at the festival says he wants to market the trilogy in Cannes, so that's really exciting. Gabriel, who plays Jimmy Fiddle, I've known since I was 4 years of age. He's an entertainer by nature, and one day I just needed an actor who I felt was more authentic than people that I was auditioning, no disrespect, who were coming out of drama school with Shakespearean accents. Were great for stage, but not so great for Jack the Lad characters. That's how I met Gabriel. And Peter, sadly, he passed away earlier this month, so I'd like to dedicate today's screening to Peter. Peter, I also met Peter plays Tom Flush, yeah. Peter, well, I say I met him in a restaurant when me and Gabriel were having a chat about film. Peter walked in one night, basically took over the conversation. He's a larger-than-life character, as you would have gathered, and I thought he'd be a great actor. And about 6 months later, when he was singing in a punk rock band of all things, I approached him after the gig, said, "Yeah, I want to do a bit of acting." And Peter then went on to be in, over the last decade, more of my stage, radio and film productions than any other male actor. So you can imagine he's a massive loss.
Yeah, well, we're more than happy to have the film in the festival and to dedicate that screening to his memory, 100%. 100%.
That means a lot.
Yeah, and I think he deserves a round of applause as well. As we're talking about kind of casting crew, what was that process like for looking for Alan, especially your 2 lead actors? What was the process in getting them involved?
Well, one of them's here today. That's nice.
Star.
For casting, I did all the traditional things of posting it in places and got a lot of, well, not loads, but a few people contact me. And but what actually happened in terms of casting is that one of my friends who's not involved in the film really took a real interest in finding out when I'd cast it. And so a few auditions, and we got lucky to get Susan and David. And then at the end of my mate was still asking me, he's never interested in anything that I do normally. And but it turns out that he'd read the script, because he's one of the GoFundMes, and he goes to Chorley Theatre a lot, and he'd seen Susan and David in that, and in a show that I can't remember which one. And so, they'd be great for it. And he works a little bit there, he knew a few people there, so he managed to get the casting call in front of them. And then they saw it and you know, sent the stuff over, and happily we're in the film. So he was basically the casting agent for it, and he's got a little credit for it there. So it was his vision all along. He saw them and thought, yeah, they'd be great for that, and then he just let it play out. And so that's how Susan and David came to be in the film. In terms of crew, I am fortunate that I work at the University of Salford in the film production department. So crew-wise, it was graduates and well, the graduates now, but current students at the time, and a couple of other staff, and we all mucked in together and filmed it one weekend in Preston.
So we'll be opening it up to the audience in a second for questions, but before we do, just one last one for the pair of you. We'll start with you. You've submitted these films to the family-friendly block, so the intention for you presumably is to get these stories in front of younger audiences as well. So just for each of you then, just what is it really that you would love your audience, and especially your younger audiences, to take away from your films?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. I think just phone your nana, I think would be the answer. Yeah, phone your nana, phone your granddad. Yeah, for younger audiences, I think that would be the big take.
We only have family at once.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Keith?
Mine would be a life lesson, and it would be to take out all of life's frustrations through comedy, laugh at things, stay calm, don't get aggressive, don't get angry, and just laugh at the world. And as my mum used to say, laugh at the world and the world laughs with you, cry and you cry aloud.
Let's open it up to the audience, and Jack will come coming around with the microphone. So if you've got any questions for either of our filmmakers, please just pop your hand up and Jack will come over.
How long did it take to shoot both of those?
We shot it over a long weekend, so we were there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Got it in one house. It's all filmed at my mum's house, just outside Preston. 3 days it was.
Any more questions?
As Ed alluded to, the team, we work together quite a lot, so it's quite a tight-knit team, and we used to work with each other. So Fiddle and Flush was actually filmed in about 5 hours. So you'd be quite surprised how fast some of our films get produced, but like I say, it's a tight-knit team who are used to working together. And it was filmed at a location in the West Midlands that is currently got, dare I say it, builders working on. But when we come through all that in about 3-4 months, hopefully, we'll have a new film location, so that's exciting, and we're going to be doing 1 or 2 new films there. And you won't recognise it because it will look completely different to the set of Fiddle and Flush.
It's all finished, complete, the building work's all done. To the standards we hope. Any other questions from anybody? Just at the front.
Just want to say, I love those films, but like, what kind of did you use phones to film it? Did you use cameras? What type of stuff did you use to film it?
What did we shoot on?
Yeah, I'm not crazy technical when it comes to stuff like that. I'm a bit more of a writer side of the writer-director. But again, at uni, we've got a lot of great kit that we get access to. So we were filming on, I don't know, some very technical camera that the DOP brought with them. I couldn't even tell you. Not phones, I can tell you that.
Yeah, Sony 4K, yeah, so not phones, yeah, proper camera.
Anybody else? I wondered as they're here, do any of our younger members of the audience have any questions for the filmmakers? It doesn't have to necessarily be about the films, but about filmmaking in general.
The only thing I'll say is when we were watching our we actually realised what was going on, which I found quite interesting. So they were asking a lot of questions like, what could we do when they were on the right pad, and they were saying things like, oh, you could write it down. Do you know, so even though they were watching it, they were doing things on here as well, such as I don't know, drawing the characters of the programme. But when yours came on, it was interesting, wasn't it? Because you guys were saying, why don't they just write it down? And I thought, from a child's point of view, from an adult, we can get frustrated over such small stuff. For children, it just seemed so simple. It was very, very simple for them. They had an answer for it. For us, it was a while to figure that out. But for children, I don't know, I just found it very moving.
How does that feedback make you feel?
Well, thank you for it. It's nice to know that people can get different things out of different stories at different stages in their life. We interpret things in a different way, don't we, as we go through life. So that's really kind to hear. Thank you.
Anybody else?
How do you source getting someone to do a background score and things like that? Do you pay for that, or do you look online?
Well, in my case, for that film, I would source people online, but then again, I've got another mate who does music, and he composed we talked about, we wanted a sort of badly drawn boy, if anyone knows that reference, badly drawn boy kind of vibe to it, and we just sort of bounced a few ideas off. And it's only 45 seconds of music in mind, so he just worked out what he wanted to do with it, really. So I was able to, it's like having a network, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And trying to align your network when you've got a tight-knit unit of people you work with time and time again, which is great. So I'm not. That's the first film that I've gone all the way through to making. So I'm hoping I'll be able to rely on people like that again in the future as well.
Yeah, very lucky again. Wayne, who directed that, is a singer, and one of the people in his band is a guitarist who's got a sound studio. So it's normally Wayne who sorts the music out, and then there's another team that I work with. I work with a director called Stephen Lansfield on about 3 films, and his uncle is a composer for TV, so he does all the music. So music we have been very lucky on, but yeah, there are other areas where I would source people if I was doing, say, bigger films, like where I need a colourist, etc. So yes, we are always open to looking for new people to work with as well. Yeah.
So any new projects in the pipeline for either of you?
I've got one. It's a short comedy that's going to involve Rita and Reese, and it's going to involve me making my acting debut. It's based around a true story where Rita and Reese make play a trick on me. I don't want to give it away, but it's set in their house. I'd have filmed it last year, but Rita says, come on, let's wait till we've got this new film location. So as soon as this building work is finished, we will be doing this short comedy based on their real life trickery of me having been the joke of it. And you'll see me making my acting debut, so nerve-wracking times.
Oh, we'll look forward to it. All right, good stuff.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things that I'm sort of like thinking about. My wife wrote a script that did pretty well at some festivals a few years ago now, about a woman saying goodbye to her daughter and her family. And then there's another film that I'm sort of working up about a couple of like men my age who decide that they need to steal their friends' ashes so that they can spread them somewhere. Sort of like a heist comedy on that.
Right, well, we look very much forward to seeing both of those films once they're ready. We always like to finish with the same question for all of our filmmakers, because we have a lot of young filmmakers out there who join us for our festivals and watch our content across the whole range of Lancashire Film Network events that we do. If you could give one piece of advice to somebody new trying to get into the industry, trying to maybe make their first film, what would it be?
I mean, it's the advice that you hear time and time again, but there's actually no better time to be out trying to make stuff, really. You can, I mean, we say we're not using phones, but you could easily use your phone, the phone in your pocket, to make it, to shoot it, to edit it, to write it. The amount of research that you can do just in terms of being cine literate, with the generation now is the most cine literate generation there's been, because we've got access to it all. I had to go to the video shop every Wednesday when it was £1 night and watch one film a week, or whatever in the TV Times. And it's out there all the time now. So the real advice is, don't wait, really, just make it. Yeah, and if it's not that good, the first one, you'll learn from it and the next one. But the opportunity and the ability, the technology to be able to make the film you want to make, it's available like it's never been before. So I think just make it is the thing.
I'm taking into account I'm restricted to one, so I'd actually got 2, because I had a student approach me the other week for some advice on to getting into filmmaking. So I'm probably going to stick with my normal first one, and that is to go to film festivals. I go to loads and loads of film festivals. They are the hidden gem of life, and you can meet so many people. If I told you, a contact I met out in America has led to us going to Barcelona, New York, etc., etc., etc. That's where you'll meet people that will give you an opportunity. So I'm not going to say my second one, so I'll stick to one. But if you want to know my second one, come see me outside. Film festivals, yeah, the greatest gem going on. It's going to shock you, but I hardly ever watch television. I hardly ever watch Netflix or anything like that. the place where I see the best films, and I know I spend most of my weekends there, are film festivals. You will see the best films in the world at film festivals, where people have got more artistic license and can say what they want to say. So yeah, I'm going to plug film festivals because they are the best places in the world.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a short break until 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, and then we'll be back here for our documentary shorts, and we have quite a big Q&A lined up for that one.
Kiosk is open if you want to get some light refreshments. We're around as the team if you want to have a chat with us. Filmmakers will be walking around as well, so they'll be here if you want to go and have any little informal chats with them as well. And if you're with us for the rest of the day, wonderful. I can't wait to see you again back in the room. If you're not, whatever you're doing for the rest of the day, I hope you have a wonderful time. But please show some appreciation for our wonderful talent. Thank you very much, gentlemen.